Are the 2025 Seattle Mariners better than the 2024 lineup? Let's talk about it. So before some of you yell at me and say it is basically the same exact lineup as 2024, yes, you are right, but there are also certain pieces that we didn't have for the entire extent of 2024. So today we're going to be comparing one of the best spring training lineups, in my personal opinion, that the Seattle Mariners had this spring training, and comparing it to the opening day lineup from last year. To make this simple, we're just going to go straight across the board. So we're basically going by spot. So it's going to be 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole, etc. So the lineup you are going to see is from a game on March 17th versus the Sacramento A's. That sounds disgusting to say out loud, but that's what the Mariners were playing that day when I saw this lineup and really thought that it had the potential to be the opening day lineup. So in the leadoff spot on opening day in 2024, we had J.P. Crawford in the leadoff spot versus on March 17th, where this is potentially going to be the opening day lineup, Victor Robles was leading off. Now, right from the get-go, I love J.P. Crawford, but Victor Robles is definitely more suited for the leadoff spot with his speed, as well as the fact that he was hitting over 300 for the majority of last year while he was on the Mariners. So honestly, Victor Robles is the quintessential leadoff hitter where he's going to get on base a lot. He's going to hit for a high batting average, not too much power. He'll put out a home run here or there, and he'll also steal a ton of bags. So that is already an upgrade in my personal opinion, and you get him for the entire season this year instead of when he was hot really from July on. Coming in at number 2, nothing has changed here. You have Julio, but the difference is Julio is finally going to have that breakout season in 2025. He has had a very solid spring training. I think he put out about 5 or 6 home runs. I think he had 2 grand slams, if I'm not mistaken. It might have just been the one, but I thought it was 2. But either way, he's looked really good in spring, and I think he has a very good chemistry out in the outfield and feels much more comfortable. Now, coming in at the 3 hole on opening day last year, it was Jorge Polanco, and this year, based on this, I believe it's going to be Cal Raleigh, and I do like this a lot better because Julio and Victor are going to get on base a ton for him, and he's going to put out, again, 30-plus home runs, which he's going to drive in a ton of RBIs from because Victor's going to be on base all the time, and same with Julio. So coming in at the cleanup spot on opening day last year, we had Mitch Garver in the DH spot in the 4 hole, while in this lineup that was projected, Randy Arozarena is there, and I think this is definitely a massive upgrade in terms of a cleanup role. Randy has looked really good this spring. I think he's hitting over 330 if I'm not mistaken. He's looked really good, and I think he's going to be having his first full year in Seattle, which is going to make him really comfortable, similar to with Julio. Having all 3 of them out there, they're all just going to vibe off of each other and really just take each other's game to the next level because they feel much more comfortable playing together. So yes, that is part of this in terms of, yes, while Randy Arozarena was in the lineup for the last 2 months of the year last year, we did not have him for that entire season. So coming in at the 5 hole on opening day last year, it was Cal Raleigh. This year, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to be Luke Raley, like this lineup on the right. And yes, I do believe that is an upgrade because in my personal opinion, I think Luke Raley hits for a little bit of higher average than Cal Raleigh does, but also still has the power. And as we know, Luke Raley absolutely mashes fastballs and had a really great year for the Mariners last year, and he seems to feel really comfortable in a Mariners uniform. As we know, he does mash the fastball, but at the same time, he does really have to learn how to hit the off-speed and the breaking pitches because that would really take his game. He's already a great player, but that would really take his game to even a higher level. Coming in at the 6th spot last year on opening day, we had right fielder Mitch Haniger, unfortunately, who was released the other day. And in this lineup, we have Jorge Polanco playing third base. Now, speaking of, there has been a little bit of discourse in terms of with Jorge Polanco, whether he will bounce back this season or not. But based on what we've seen in spring, he looks healthy, knock on wood for his sake. He looks healthy, he looks ready to go, and he is putting out power. He has some power, he's doing really well, and he hadn't started spring training, but he has played in a few games since, and he's looked really well in those games, and he honestly looks like that knee is much better for him. I won't nerd you guys out a little bit, but it does look like he did change his swing a little bit. That definitely had a major impact with Edgar, and obviously Kevin Seitzer in there. So you can see that with a few guys. You can see even with Garver, they did adjust their swings a little bit. So hopefully that helps take his game back to the level that we know Jorge Polanco can play at and bring him back to the whole reason why we brought him in. Hitting 7th on opening day last year was Dom Canzone in left field. And this year, in terms of this lineup, it is Rowdy Tellez. Now, I don't necessarily think Rowdy Tellez will be on the, he is on the roster, but I don't think he's going to be in the opening day lineup. He might be, you never know. But I do think it should be Mitch Garver, who did have a pretty good spring training and looks way more comfortable at the plate than he did last year. But in my personal opinion, just based on the way Dom played last year, I think Rowdy or Mitch kind of gives you an upgrade at the 7th spot. So that's just my personal opinion. I do think that Mitch Garver is going to have a bounce back year, as we all know, the odd year. But either way, I do think he's going to have a bounce back year just in general because he's going to feel more comfortable. He's going to have that first year under his belt. He's going to, to be totally transparent, it can't really get much worse than it did last year. But I do think him and Polanco are both going to play at that higher level that we anticipated when they came in here. Coming in at the 8th spot last year, another reminiscing moment for Mariners fans, but it was Ty France at first base. And now based on this lineup in the 8th spot this year, it will be Ryan Bliss. And I do absolutely think that Ryan Bliss has earned his shot to be the opening day second baseman over Dylan Moore, and there may be some people that disagree with that, but I think Ryan Bliss is really going to have a season, if they give him the reps, a season that's really going to put his name on the map. My personal opinion, this is an overall upgrade because I do think Ryan Bliss is going to have a little bit of power. I can see him consistently being at between 12 to 18 home runs on a year-to-year basis. He definitely has a lot of pop for a smaller guy, but also he offers a lot of speed as well on the base path. He had 55 stolen bases in AAA last year, so the guy has speed, definitely an upgrade, has a good defensive glove at second base, and I really think the Mariners just need to give him that shot this year. So in my personal opinion, I do think Bliss is definitely an upgrade over Ty in this spot. And then coming in at the 9 spot on opening day last year, we had Josh Rojas, and this year, based on this lineup, it will most likely, and I think this really is pretty safe to say, that JP Crawford will be in the 9 spot. And I do think JP, bat-wise, is 100% an upgrade over Josh. The one thing that obviously we're going to be missing with Josh Rojas, where we have Polanco playing third base, Josh Rojas is a very good defensive player, but at the same time, I'd rather have a guy who has a better bat and a little bit of worse defense. So in my personal opinion, I think JP Crawford is definitely an upgrade at the 9 spot. I think JP needs to have a massive bounce back year. Otherwise, his future in Seattle might be a bit of a question mark. But I do think he's going to have a little bit of bounce back. I think last year, like I had said in a previous video before, that I think last year kind of just was very inconsistent for JP. He really could not find his groove that he had in 2023, especially through all those injuries that he was fighting, whether it was hand or I think, what was the other one? He had another bigger injury that took him out for a longer period of time. But either way, I think JP is kind of ready to come back and really solidify that spot in Seattle again. And then we can't leave out our opening day starting pitcher. Last year it was Luis Castillo, and this year it is going to be Logan Gilbert, which I'm super excited to see. I think everyone in Seattle is super excited to see Logan get this opening day nod. He has earned it 100%. And I do think that it is an upgrade over last year. I think Castillo is kind of on the decline in his career. He will still hopefully give us a ton of innings, which he is very known for, and he'll still give us very solid outings. I just don't think he's still that dominant pitcher that he was when we acquired him back in 2022. So in terms of chemistry and in terms of having guys for the entire season and in terms of other guys having bounce back seasons, which are most likely going to happen to at least 2 of them, whether that is Mitch Garver, Polanco, Julio having his breakout year, Ryan Bliss maybe having a breakout year for him. Who really knows? I do think at least 2 of those guys are going to have massive seasons for this team, which is going to be so important if they want to go out and win the AL West, because the AL West is very much up for grabs this year. So I hope that cleared up a little bit on what I meant on which lineup is better, because again, you have guys like Victor, you have guys like Randy who you're going to have for full seasons now, and you're going to have guys like Mitch Garver and Jorge Polanco looking to bounce back and prove themselves in a Seattle Mariners uniform. So we are officially 3 days out from Seattle Mariners opening day, and I know you guys are just excited as I am, so we'll definitely be doing some coverage after these series, or maybe after some of these games, just kind of recap, see what this offense looks like to start the year, because they really do need to start off hot for once. But otherwise, let me know what you guys think about this upcoming season. Otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.